And so please don't go from this video and saying like, oh, this is FinTech's fault. This is like, no, it was not their fault. It was not their fault. Okay? Don't do that. Welcome back to the channel. All right. You obviously from the thumbnail and the title, you know what you're clicking on. You know what you're here for. I'm going to save some people though a little bit of trouble and or time and let you know there's not going to be a drama here. I don't think there's a villain in this scenario, and I'm not going to villainize anyone. I'm going to tell you what happened, and then I would love your advice because I've put a tremendous amount of time, effort, and energy into these tournaments the last few months, and we're coming off highs like the matchup with Marcelo and Legacy, and of course the semifinals there with Karate Mike and FinTech, Legacy, and BMG. I have a ton of friends in these tournaments, and people I was not friends with before they started. Like I'll use FinTech as an example. I felt like friends with them, or at least I enjoyed communicating with them and working with them. So many times people will ask me, why isn't this person in? Why isn't that person in? And typically it's just because a lot of people want in the tournaments. But I also am looking for people who will understand that there's a bigger thing going on. I want people, of course, who want to win. We're trying to put on a great show. And part of that great show is that there is at least a high level of talent and skill, right? We're also teaching while we entertain. I know I often learn things from these matchups as well, too. But I also need people to understand that there's something bigger at play than how a single thing may go against them or for them and looked about from a very, very specific viewpoint. There's this bigger thing going on in that we're all doing our best. We play an imperfect game. In, I think, both of these tournaments so far, we've had to adjust the rule sets because of game input issues. It's just what it is. We can either continue to lament it or we can accept it and decide we still want to do it or not. And what happened here this time was that we've been having this Grandmaster theme. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of you have told me you've enjoyed it. A lot of the participants have told me they enjoyed it. You can see right there that Katie Candy had been the previous one with phenomenal job. Dan and Kabam Mike and John and of course Dragon, who just knocked it out of the park for all of us. And there's others too, and I'm sorry I don't remember you off the top of my head. It's been a long, long day. And I had one lined up for the Grandmaster for the finals, and it was going to be phenomenal. This was going to bring a lot of attention to the people in the tournament. Now, Legacy, the guy's doing okay as far as attention on YouTube is concerned, over 100,000 subscribers. FinTech, many people know him very well, but his channel isn't exactly massive. It's going to bring a lot of attention, a lot of fun. We're trying to involve the community, different parts of the community that often maybe don't get along or know each other that well. And it's been an absolute blast, but this person wasn't available. It's not their fault. And that's why I'm not even saying who it was. It's because, unfortunately, I'm seeing some ugly sides of the community too that just aren't rational. They're just not rational and not fair. And I don't want this person taking any blame. That's not their fault. Things happened. So I made an adjustment. We had a very limited amount of time to come up with the new bans. And I knew that the farther we got in the tournament, the more the bans are going to be analyzed. Like, right, even if you look at the ones that Katie did, no one knew this, but she actually sent them to me well before we even knew who the semifinalists were going to be. And yet there were still conspiracy theories about how obviously this was done to get against FinTech. Yes, FinTech is a great Tiger player. What a lot of you don't know, and I hope you soon find out. I hope you have the enjoyment of finding out. Karate Mike is a fantabulous. I'm making up a word. He is fantabulous with Tigra. Fantastic. Mike, put out the video if you're watching this. But I'm in his alliance, so I've gotten to see it. But I sat there and kept my mouth shut. Because I'm like, you know, people are entitled to their opinions. These are just, they're stating them as fact and they're just wrong. Because Mike's also a fantastic Titania player. How many of us learned that Titania was even good because we watched a Karate Mike video? And Titania and Tiger are banned, and the comments are about how unfair this is. Obviously, the fixed is in. People have done this and that. And it's just like, that's not fun. That's not fun at all. So I went and I was like, I'll involve the community. And I'll put these polls up on Twitter and everyone can vote, right? I think that'll be a lot of fun. This has been a community tournament. This is the most community involved tournament that I've had so far. And I thought that'd be really enjoyable. And again, I want to state, I don't think there's a villain here, but the finalists, I'm not going to put words in their mouth. They're not villains. This isn't their fault. They want to win. I don't blame them. Okay. But they didn't like it. And it was not the rule set that they had been told we would play by. That is true. That is correct. They were told that there'd be a grandmaster each week. That grandmaster would ban 2 champions, and if 2 champions that couldn't be banned, and that those champions could not be on the same list twice. That is completely accurate. And so please don't go from this video and saying like, oh, this is Fintech's fault. This is like, no, it was not their fault. It was not their fault. Okay? Don't do that. And we just couldn't agree. The group could not agree. I couldn't agree with them, and they couldn't agree with me. And it just got to a point where like, we absolutely need to cancel this. We just don't have time to keep going. Agreement clearly isn't going to be possible. And so we canceled it. I don't like it at all. It really bothers me. I've put in, like I said, a tremendous amount of time. I've taken days off. I've used my lunch break. I've missed family dinners. Now I've wanted to do all of that, and I knew that at any point this could happen. But we've been building something and having a lot of fun. And so that's where I'm going to ask you to come in. I know I've talked a lot about how we're already going to do a 3-star tournament. You, the viewer, doesn't know this. Only 2 other people know it, and their logos are on the screen. We're going to have a really awesome charity matchup, a very cool matchup for charity in February, I believe, on the 20th. So start keeping an eye out for that. We're going to raise a lot of money for 2 very, very worthy charities. I'm excited about that. And that's given me some ideas about maybe we shift to doing this more as far as like charity and raising money for good causes and community involvement while still having these really high level players play and teach. But I am also, I enjoyed so much about these big tournaments. And I've learned from it. If anyone's to blame, if there's blame, I'm part of it. I'm learning from these things. I learned a lot from the first one. Fortunately, none of the issues that happened made it too public. Some people reached out to me on them, but none of them were too big. So I would like you to tell me, do you want to see the 3-star? Do you want to see, I had plans for a 4th tournament, and then we were going to cycle through and make this like a yearly thing with 4 big tournaments a year. Do you want to see that? That will actually play into this because it's ultimately about how am I spending my time on YouTube, right? I just, again, full transparency, videos, let's just say you are rewarded more handsomely from YouTube for videos than you are for live streams. But these live streams are so much fun, and they felt good in a way because it felt like a positive community thing. If I do continue to do them, you'll continue to see me go more and more towards people I know who I believe will see the bigger picture on this, who will obviously want to win, but that I can trust if something out of our control doesn't go their way, they're not going to make a big deal about it because they'll know that all of us are doing the level best we can to make an even and fair playing field. So please let me know 2 things. 1, don't blame Lags. Don't blame Finn. This is not their fault. And 2, let me know, do you want to see more? It really will play into my thinking and my determination on whether I want to continue to put forth this effort for the 3-star. And the big, there are big plans actually for the 4th tournament. I can tell I want to continue to do the tournament, but I am aware of how much time they take. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. I hope you either learned something, were entertained, or even better, a little bit of both. Don't forget to like, subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.